Preface. In this ever-changing world, the concept of life and livelihood is changing every moment. This process of change has been accelerated due to the advancement of technology. There is no alternative to adapting to this fast-changing world, as technology is changing rapidly ever than before. In the era of Fourth Industrial Revolution, the advancement of artificial intelligence has brought about drastic changes in our employment and lifestyles that will make the relationship among people more and more intimate. Various employment opportunities will be created in near future which we cannot even predict at this moment. We need to take preparation right now so that we can adapt ourselves to that coming future. Although a huge economic development has taken place throughout the world, problems like climate change, air pollution, migrations and ethnic violence have become much more intense nowadays. The breakouts of pandemics like COVID-19 have crippled the normal lifestyle and economic growth of the world. Thus, different challenges as well as opportunities have been added to our daily life. Standing amid the array of challenges and potentials, sustainable and effective solutions are required to transform our large population into a resource. It entails global citizens with knowledge, skill, values, vision, positive attitude, sensitivity, adaptability, humanism and patriotism. Amidst all these, Bangladesh has graduated into a developing nation from the underdeveloped periphery and is continuously trying to achieve the desired goals in order to become a developed country by 2041. Education is one of the most crucial instruments to attain the goals. Hence, there is no alternative to the transformation of our education system. This transformation calls for developing an effective and updated curriculum. Developing and updating the curriculum is a routine and important activity of National Curriculum and Textbook Board. The curriculum was last revised in 2012. Since then, more than a decade has elapsed. Therefore, there was a need for curriculum revision and development. With this view, various research and technical studies were conducted under NCTB from 2017 to 2019 to analyze the current state of education and identify the learning needs. Based on the researches and technical studies, a competency-based and seamless curriculum from K-12 has been developed to create a competent generation capable of surviving in the new world situation. Under the framework of this competency-based curriculum, the textbooks have been prepared for all streams, general, madrasa and vocational, of learners for Class 9. The authentic experience-driven contents of this textbook were developed with a view to making learning comprehensible and enjoyable. This will connect the textbooks with various life-related phenomena and events that are constantly taking place around us. It is expected that, through this, learning will be much more insightful and lifelong. In developing the textbooks, due importance has been given to all irrespective of gender, ethnicity, religion and caste, while the needs of the disadvantaged and special children are taken into special considerations. I would like to thank all who have put their best efforts in writing, editing, revising, illustrating, and publishing the textbook. If any errors or inconsistencies in this experimental version are found, or if there is any suggestions for further improvement of this textbook, you are requested to let us know. Professor M.D. Farhadul Islam, Chairman, National Curriculum and Textbook Board, Bangladesh. Dear student, welcome to your new class. As you have started a fresh journey in this class, you must be excited to have a new English textbook. This book has been developed to facilitate your English language learning. The book offers ample opportunities to engage in fun and interesting activities while practicing your English. It contains activities such as playing games, reading, telling stories, listening to, reciting poems, talking with friends and peers, writing posters, and drawing pictures to give you an engaging and enjoyable learning experience. The book aims to ensure your personalized learning. Almost all the language learning tasks and experiences provided in the book are intended as classroom-based activities. Therefore, if you use this textbook regularly in classrooms during school time, you won't be required to do additional tasks at home. Finally, the book provides enough opportunities to work with your friends, peers while engaging in your classroom activities. Moreover, you will also get opportunities to monitor your progress as well as the progress made by your peers. Wishing you a joyous and productive year ahead. English. Dear student, welcome to your new class. As you have started a fresh journey in this class. Contents. Serial No. Experience. Page 1. Opinion Matters. 1 to 17. 2. Nature's Tapestry. 18 to 26. 3. The Sense of Beauty. 27 to 47. 4. Tones and Statements. 48 to 60. 5. Expressing a solution to a problem. 61 to 77. 6. The Art of Expressing Comparisons. 78 to 96. 7. The Power of Inclusive Language. 97 to 108. 8. Imaginations. 109 to 117. 9. A Journey Through Explanatory Texts. 118 to 127. 10. Understanding a cause and exploring its effects. 128 to 139. 11. The Last Leaf. 140 to 160. 12. Macbeth. 161 to 191. 13. Appendix. 192 to 211. Opinion Matters. 1.1.1 Look at the following images, and in pairs, groups, discuss what they depict, facts. Afterwards, discuss what you would have done if you were present in those special moments. Later, share your responses with the class. 1 is done for you.
নিচের ছবিগুলো দেখো এবং এই ছবিগুলোতে কি দেখানো হয়েছে তা জোড়ায় বা দলে আলোচনা করো। সেই বিশেষ মুহূর্তগুলোতে তুমি উপস্থিত থাকলে কি করতে তা আলোচনা করো। তোমার উত্তর শ্রেণীতে শেয়ার করো। একটি উত্তর তোমার জন্য করে দেওয়া হলো।
English. Image 4. Image 1. The fact. This illustration depicts the mangrove forests. These mangrove forests are usually grown in saline, muddy and partially waterlogged areas. Due to the saline soil, the roots of these forest trees are quite scattered and cannot go deep into the soil. Indonesia, Brazil, Australia, and Niger account for 43% of the world's mangrove forests. Located in Bangladesh, the Sundarbans is the single largest mangrove forest in the world and is recognized by the world as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. My thoughts on the mangrove forest. Personally, I find these different and unique forests a rare creation of nature. It protects us from many natural disasters. We need to protect our Sundarbans by any means. Also, the mangrove forest inspires me to fight against all odds and make my own place in the world. 3. Academic Year 2024. 1.2.1 Now, read the following texts. Then, in pairs, groups, list the facts described in the texts and the writer's opinions on the topic. Then, write about how the writer's opinions influence your thoughts. Finally, share it with the class.
নিচের থেকগুলো পড়ো তারপরে জোড়ায় বা দলে থেকে বর্ণিত ঘটনা, ফ্যাক্টস এবং লেখকের মতামতের ওপিনিয়নস একটি তালিকা তৈরি করো। লেখকের মতামত কিভাবে তোমার ভাবনাকে প্রভাবিত করছে তা লেখো। সবশেষে তোমার লেখাটি শ্রেণীতে শেয়ার করো।
As Bengalese Bangabandhu's speech at the United Nations Assembly is a matter of great pride for us. On September 25, 1974, Bangabandhu delivered his historic speech during the 29th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Just a week after, Bangladesh became a member of the UN. The President of the UN welcomed Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to address the General Assembly. He started his speech by saying, "Today as I stand before this assembly, I share with you profound satisfaction that the 75 million people of Bangladesh are now represented in this Parliament of Man. This speech is remarkable in the history of Bangladesh for primarily two reasons. Firstly, it marked the first time a speech was delivered in Bangla at the UN. Secondly, it introduced fresh ideas and policies aimed at building a brave new world, free of economic inequalities, social injustice, military aggression and threats of nuclear war. Academic. English. Text 2. Wonders of Egypt. How the pyramids at Giza were built is one of Egypt's biggest mysteries. These monumental tombs are relics of Egypt's Old Kingdom era and were constructed approximately 4,500 years ago. The pyramids were constructed throughout ancient Egyptian history as a means for pharaohs to display their power. It was believed that a pharaoh was a semi-divine being who ruled on earth during life and then transitioned into an afterlife amongst the gods. In the picture above, all three of Giza's renowned pyramids and their intricate burial complexes were constructed from around 2550 to 2490 BC. These pyramids were built by pharaohs Khufu, tallest, Khafra, in the background, and Menkaure, in the front. The Pyramid of Khufu is the largest among the three pyramids at Giza and holds the record for the world's largest stone structure, standing over 480 feet high. It was constructed during the reign of the pharaoh Khufu, the second pharaoh of the 4th dynasty. The second largest pyramid at Giza is that of Khufu's son, Khafra. The renowned Sphinx statue is believed to have been constructed to honor and resemble the pharaoh Khafra, and it stands beside his pyramid. The third and smallest of the main pyramids at Giza belongs to another pharaoh of the 4th dynasty, Menkaure. It stands at just over 200 feet height. Each of these pyramids forms the center of its own complex of structures, including smaller tombs, chambers, work camps and cemeteries for lesser elites. 7. Academic year 2024. Opinion matters. Text 3. Endangered animals of Bangladesh. Wildlife in Bangladesh is the major attraction for the tourism sector in the country. This has led to many government initiatives aimed at protecting these populations from further decline. The banteng, hispid hare, and Asian elephant are mainly threatened by poaching and hunting. If their populations are not monitored and guarded, they may soon become extinct. Asian elephant. The trunk of the Asian elephant is believed to contain up to 60,000 muscles. It is used by the elephant for dusting, breathing, feeding, washing, and grasping among other functions. The elephant has smooth skin, is gray in color, and has an average weight of 2.7 tons for females and 4 tons for males. Asian elephants are mainly found in Chattagram Hills of Bangladesh, an area less accessible to humans. As a result, human-elephant conflicts are few in this region. The primary threat to the Asian elephant's existence is habitat loss due to the increasing human population. Additionally, elephants face poaching threats as they are hunted for ivory, food, and leather. Academic year 2024. 8. You can list your responses in the following grid. Fact. Writer's opinions regarding the text. English. Text 1. It was the 25th of September 1974. Bangabandhu gave his historic speech in the 29th session of the United Nations General Assembly just after a week Bangladesh became a member of the UN. As Bengalis, Bangabandhu's speech at the United Nations Assembly is a matter of great pride for us. How writers' opinions influenced me to develop my opinion about the text. Here, the writer's opinions make my understanding that the speech is extremely important in the history of Bangladesh. Most importantly, the writer's opinions regarding the speech help me to understand the positive tone of the text. Text 2. Text 3. 1.3.1 Let's read the following note to know more about facts and opinions. Nisara note T para ebam, facts ebam opinions sampark arrow kichu yani. Note. Facts and opinions. An important part of reading comprehension is determining a fact and an opinion in a text. The difference between facts and opinions is essential, especially when working to support an argument in an essay. Facts are statements that can be objectively proven, while opinions reflect personal and subjective feelings. For instance, when writing about a story, someone might write something like, "The author did an awesome job writing about the main character." However, this statement would be an opinion because the idea that the author's job was awesome is subjective and may vary depending on 9. The reader. Opinion matters. Instead, the same person might write something like, "The author used several metaphors to describe the main character effectively." This would be a fact because the writer would be able to point out metaphors in the text that prove this. When we read a text, it is not always easy to distinguish between facts and opinions. To identify them, we need to read the passage sentence by sentence and ask two questions. 1. Can the statement be proven to be true or false? 2. Does the statement express the author's personal beliefs, ideas, or emotions about the topic? If the answer to the first question is, "It cannot be proven," and the answer to the second is, "It does," then the statement is an opinion. On the other hand, if the answer to the first question is, "It can be proven," and the answer to the second is, "It doesn't," then the statement is a fact. You can also look for certain cues to distinguish between facts and opinions in a text. Authors often use the following ways to write a fact. The research confirms. It is recently discovered that, recent findings reveal that. According to, source. Are usually followed by a fact. However, it can also introduce an opinion. It is important to know that the source of the fact should be credible and trustworthy. Conversely, authors use the following clues to give their opinions. I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion, some people think, my friends think, my parents think, some people claim, argue, he, she claims, argues. Adjectives like always, never, awful, wonderful, beautiful, ugly, better, best, worst, delicious, disgusting, enjoyable, favorite, for, against, good, bad, inferior, superior, oppose, support, terrible, unfair, worthwhile. Academic year 2024. Learning to tell facts and opinions is one of the most important skills. It not only helps us to analyze information and distinguish between facts and opinions, but it also assists us in choosing reliable sources and making our independent decisions. This skill reflects your critical thinking ability and makes you more reading capable. 10. In our daily lives, not everything that we hear or read is always true. We need to learn how to identify what is true and what is not. Therefore, it is important to be able to tell the differences between facts and opinions and decide what to believe and what is simply someone's viewpoint. This helps us resist attempts to influence, persuade, or pressure us. Ultimately, separating fact from opinion is central to understanding information thoughtfully. 1.3.2 Now, read the note on facts and opinions again and choose the suitable characteristics from the following list and arrange them in the two columns below. Afterwards, share your ideas.
এখন ঘটনা, ফ্যাক্টস এবং মতামত ওপিনিয়ন্স বিষয়ক নোটটি আবার পড়ো এবং নিচের তালিকা থেকে এদের যথাযথ বৈশিষ্ট্যগুলো বাছাই করে নিচের সারণীতে সাজাও। এরপর ফ্যাক্টস অ্যান্ড ওপিনিয়ন্স সম্পর্কে তোমার ধারণা শ্রেণীতে শেয়ার করো।
Characteristics. Always true and can be proven. An expression of belief about something. Rely on observation or research. Based on assumptions. Has credible sources like research, newspaper, etc. The source of the information may be the teacher, mother, etc. To me, walking is the best way to visit a new place. My mother has a driving license. Universal. Varies from one person to the next. Debatable. Has the power to influence or persuade others. According to The New Nation, the literacy rate. Supported by evidence. 11. Involves our physical senses, like hearing, seeing, smelling, touching, or tasting. Add numbers as many as you need. Fact. Opinion. 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 1.3.3 Read the following texts. Then, discuss in pairs, groups to identify the facts and opinions in the texts. Afterwards, write down the strategies you used to distinguish between facts and opinions. Finally, express how the writer's opinions influence your thoughts and opinions about the topics.
নিচের থেকগুলো পড়ো। তারপর জোড়ায় বা দলে আলোচনা করে ঘটনা, ফ্যাক্ট এবং মতামত ওপিনিয়ন চিহ্নিত করো। এরপর ফ্যাক্ট এবং ওপিনিয়ন আলাদা করে চেনার কৌশলগুলো লেখো। সবশেষে আলোচ্য বিষয় টুপি সম্পর্কে তোমার মতামতকে লেখকের মতামত কিভাবে প্রভাবিত করেছে তা প্রকাশ করো। একাডেমি।
Text 1. The 1954 Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded to the American author Ernest Hemingway, 1899–1961, for his mastery of the art of narrative, demonstrated in The Old Man and the Sea, and for the influence that he has exerted on contemporary style. Unwilling to travel to Stockholm, after 2 nearly fatal plane crashes, Hemingway asked John C. Cabot, the United States ambassador to Sweden at the time, to read his acceptance speech. This acceptance speech is considered one of the best ever. This is what he wrote. Having no facility for speech-making and no command of oratory nor any domination of rhetoric, I wish to thank the administrators of the generosity of Alfred Nobel for this prize. No writer who knows the great writers who did not receive the prize can accept it other than with humility. There is no need to list these writers. Everyone here may make his own list according to his knowledge and his conscience. It would be impossible for me to ask the ambassador of my country to read a speech in which a writer said all of the things which are in his heart. Things may not be immediately discernible in what a man writes, and in this sometimes he is fortunate, but eventually, they are quite clear, and by these and the degree of alchemy that he possesses he will endure or be forgotten. Writing, at its best, is a lonely life. Organizations for writers palliate the writer's loneliness, but I doubt if they improve his writing. He grows in public stature as he sheds his loneliness, and often his work deteriorates. For he does his work alone, and if he is a good enough writer he must face eternity, or the lack of it, each day. For a true writer, each book should be a new beginning where he tries again for something that is beyond attainment. He should always try for something that has never been done or that others have tried and failed. Then sometimes, with great luck, he will succeed. 13. Academic year 2024. Opinion matters. How simple the writing of literature would be if it were only necessary to write in another way what has been well written. It is because we have had such great writers in the past that a writer is driven far out past where he can go, out to where no one can help him. I have spoken too long for a writer. A writer should write what he has to say and not speak it. Again, I thank you. Text 2. Theodore Roosevelt is best known as the 26th President of the United States, but this dynamic, multi-talented, charismatic man became a hero to millions of Americans for many other reasons. Theodore Roosevelt gave his citizenship in a Republic speech, on April 23, 1910, at the Sorbonne in Paris. The speech is famous for Roosevelt's thoughts about the duties and responsibilities of both the state to citizens and citizens to the state. The speech emphasizes the importance of action and striving towards worthy goals in life over idle criticism, laziness and inaction. A country's success, Roosevelt stated, depends on disciplined work and character, and democracies require leaders of the best character to hold all citizens to the highest standards. This is what he said. Academic year 2024. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, and comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. 14. You can list your responses in the following grid. 1 is done for you.
নিচের সারণীতে তোমার মতামতগুলো সাজিয়ে লিখতে পারো।
Fact. Opinion. The strategies you have used to separate facts and opinions. The writer used I doubt, which means the writer has shared his own opinion. How the writer's opinions influence your feelings, opinions, thoughts, etc. The writer's opinion has positively influenced my thoughts. 1. The 1954 Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded to the American author Ernest Hemingway, 1899–1961. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. Organizations for writers palliate the writer's loneliness, but I doubt if they improve his writing. 15. Academic. Opinion matters. 1.4.1 Read the following story of Farid. Then, in pairs, groups, identify the underlined sentences as facts or opinions. Also, discuss why you think they are facts or opinions. Later, share your responses with the class. Farida Sampark Nisara Galpati Paro. Terapara Joraya Ba Dale Nisara Bakuguloke Facts Athaba Opinions Hisbi Sinita Karo. Tamara Mate Kino Segulo Facts Athaba Opinions Dao Alakana Karo. Pairs Renite Ta Sayara Karo. Touch a new height. Courage is the ability to take action even in the face of fear. We all need courage to start pursuing our goals. Being courageous in our life empowers us to chase our dreams and strengthen our belief in our capabilities despite fear. One example is Farid. Farid and his friends used to climb mountains whenever they get opportunities. This time they decided to climb Keokradong. Following the plan, one day they reached the famous mountain spot in the Keokradong and were surprised to see many people climbing the mountains. Like others, Farid and his friends started putting on mountain climbing gear and began climbing. In no time, they reached the hilltop. After reaching there, his friends chose to camp, but Farid was drawn to climb another mountain. He thought that climbing to the next hill will be fun and challenging instead of camping here. So, he proposed to his friends to climb, but they refused because they found the path difficult. Farid took this as a challenge and went alone towards climbing the peak. 2 hours later, he reached the top of the hill. People who were already there greeted him with applause. Farid was thrilled to have climbed the peak. He admired the beautiful views of nature from the top. He thought about his friends and had a conversation with a boy his age. He asked him, while climbing this peak, I felt it was not so difficult. Then why only a handful of people here? If people could climb the below peak, they can climb here also if they put in some effort. He replied, most people in the crowd right there are happy with what they find easy. They never think that they have the potential to achieve more. Even people who are not happy there do not want to take any risk. They think if they take risks, they will lose what they already have. But to reach a new peak, we need to put in our effort. Many of them do not show any courage, and they remain part of the crowd the whole life, and keep complaining about the handful of courageous people and call them lucky. Farid agreed that it's the courage and effort that make someone out of the crowd. 16. Academic year 2024. (1.4.2) Let's write our own passage. Take a look at the following topics and choose one for you. Then, write 2 passages on the same topic. One has to be fact-based and another one has to be opinion-based. You can search online sources, newspapers, magazines and news for the facts related to your chosen topic. Later, share your writings with your group and make necessary edits. Finally, present your writing in the class and invite teachers and students to read the passages and add their opinions.
চলো আমরা নিজে একটি অনুচ্ছেদ লিখি। নিচের আলোচ্য বিষয়গুলো দেখো এবং এগুলো থেকে যে কোনো একটি বেছে নাও। তারপর এই একই টুপি এর উপর 2টি অনুচ্ছেদ সাজে লেখো, যার একটি হবে ফ্যাকন্ট বাজিড, অন্যটি ওপিনশন বাজিড। তোমার বেছে নেয়া বিষয় টুপি সংশ্লিষ্ট ফ্যাকন্ট সংগ্রহের জন্য তুমি অনলাইন উৎস, পত্রিকা, ম্যাগাজিন অথবা অন্য কোনো উৎস বেছে নিতে পারো। পরে লেখাটি তোমার দলের সাথে শেয়ার করো এবং প্রয়োজনীয় সম্পাদনা করে নাও। সবশেষে লেখাটি শ্রেণীতে শেয়ার করো। শিক্ষক ও ছাত্রদেরকে তা পড়তে বলো এবং তাদের মতামত তোমার লেখায় যুক্ত করো।
Topics. Academic year 2024. Impacts of technology on students. Online or offline class. Students' responsibility towards community. Human activities that affect the environment. Your relationship with your parents. The influence of women in your community. New words: procession, profound, initiatives, poaching, additionally, intricate. Inaugurate, immense, distinguish, demonstrate, contemporary. 17.